Utility tractors from 40 to 85 horsepower. Utility tractors with the power to handle big jobs. Utility tractors with full features. And utility tractors that are trim and economical. Utility tractors that can meet competition head-on and come out ahead. Utility tractors from John Deere. The 40 PTO horsepower, 1250. The 45 PTO horsepower, 2150. The 50 PTO horsepower, 1450. The 55 PTO horsepower, 2350. The 60 PTO horsepower, 1650. The 65 PTO horsepower, 2550. The 75 PTO horsepower, 2750. And the 85 PTO horsepower, John Deere 2950. Utility tractors that are designed to satisfy individual customer needs. And that's what we're going to talk about, individual customer needs and requirements. The utility tractor market is wide and varied. Some customers need a tractor for general applications, while others buy a utility tractor for specific applications and reasons. In order to sell this comprehensive line of tractors, you must first look to needs. This videotape is designed to help you do just that. It's divided into an introduction and 4 major segments based on the needs of your customers. In each segment, we'll look at the differences in the John Deere tractor models, then study how these differences compare to competition. You're watching the introduction. Segment 1 looks at the 40 to 45 horsepower range and covers the 1250 and 2150. The competitor we'll look at is the Ford 3910. Segment 2 covers the 1450, the 2350, and the 1650 in the 50 to 60 horsepower range. Here we'll look at the IH 584, the Massey 270, and the Ford 5610. In the 65 to 70 horsepower range, we'll compare the Massey 294 and 690 with the John Deere 2550 and 2750. Finally, we'll look at the 85 horsepower John Deere 2950 and compare it to the Ford 7710. Obviously, this isn't a complete list of our competitors, but it does provide a good cross-section. More important, it lets us look at customer needs to determine which tractor is the best choice. The 2150 and the 1250. Only 5 horsepower difference, but the combination of these two machines gives you real flexibility to meet customer needs. The 2150 is a full-featured tractor with the field-proven TSS, top shaft synchronized transmission. You can get the 2150 equipped with either high-low or, on a 2-wheel drive model, a direction reverser. The hydraulics of the 2150 are fast and responsive, and you have an oil cooler to keep them running cool and efficient. The TSS transmission lets you shift on the go, and the optional mechanical front-wheel drive can be engaged and disengaged on the go. The 2150 is an efficient tractor with many features found on our larger utility and row crop tractors. If your customers are looking for outstanding fuel efficiency, then steer them to the 1250. The 1250 is somewhat lighter and has a standard collar shift transmission. These two features, coupled with a fuel-efficient 3-cylinder engine, makes the 1250 one of the most economical tractors ever tested at Nebraska. For a comparison, let's look at the Ford 3910. This tractor falls right between the 1250 and 2150 with 42 horsepower. The Ford uses cast-in block cylinder design. Both the 1250 and 2150 use wet sleeve cylinder design. The wet sleeve is finely machined with uniform thickness to evenly dissipate heat. This improves engine life because heat is transferred directly to the coolant through the sleeve. Also, the sleeves are easily replaceable. To increase drivetrain life, John Deere tractors have inboard planetary final drives. These drives spread out the load evenly on the axle. The 1250 or the 2150? Which tractor do you sell against the Ford 3910? The answer is both, based on your customer's specific needs. If your customer is looking at a 3910 with a standard transmission for an economical chore tractor, then consider the 1250. The 1250 has better fuel economy, better torque reserve, a longer wheelbase, and is easier to service. On the other hand, if your prospect is looking at a 3910 equipped with their optional synchronized transmission, then the John Deere 2150 may be the best choice. The John Deere TSS transmission gives your customer 8 forward gears and 4 reverse as standard. Add high-low and you have 16 forward gears and 8 reverse, fully synchronized in each range. With the 2150, you can choose hydraulic direction reverser, giving your customer forward and reverse shuttle shift without using the clutch. The 2150 has a Category 2 hitch that is convertible to Category 1. This makes the 2150 versatile for a number of operations. The Ford 3910 only has a Category 1 hitch. The hydraulic pump output of the 3910 is almost half of the 2150, which means that in hydraulic operations, the 2150 will have faster response time, increasing your productivity. Feature for feature and benefit for benefit, the 1250 and 2150 can outperform the Ford 3910. And most important, you can match a tractor to your prospect's needs and budget. In the 50 to 60 PTO horsepower class, you have 3 models to sell. The 50 PTO horsepower 1450, the 55 PTO horsepower 2350, and the 60 PTO horsepower 1650. Each of these tractors appeals to a different customer in the utility market. To explore this market and see how the John Deere benefits match up with customer needs, let's start with the 1450 and 1650. Here, the watchword is economy. In fact, when talking about fuel economy, a better word might be stingy. At the Nebraska test, the 1450 and 1650 set new fuel economy records, outperforming all competitors in their horsepower class. Likewise, these tractors registered excellent lugging ability. The rugged, durable 9 forward and 2 reverse speed transmission is easy to operate and has a straight line shuttle shift for fast loader work. Both the 1450 and 1650 can be equipped with mechanical front wheel drive for even greater efficiency. These are impressive tractors, strong on economy. So, where does the 2350 fit in? Well, as with any utility tractor sale, your customer will determine where this tractor fits. The 2350 is a full-featured tractor with row crop tractor advantages and available John Deere Sound Guard body, the operator enclosure that all others are compared to. Big tractor features like the TSS, top shaft synchronized transmission, with options like direction reverser, high-low, or creeper. Large capacity closed center hydraulics to handle even the most demanding hydraulic chores, such as loader work. And the patented 12-degree exclusive John Deere caster action mechanical front wheel drive. Caster action reduces turning radius by tucking the wheels under the tractor frame on tight turns. And on the 2350, the MFWD is engaged and disengaged on the go. With these 3 tractors, you can meet all your customer needs in the 50 to 60 PTO horsepower class. 3 John Deere tractors with John Deere design, reliability, and features built in. Let's see how they match up with competition. The International Harvester 584 52 PTO horsepower with an 8-speed synchronized transmission. The 584 can be equipped with MFWD and a cab. However, the IH cab is not factory installed. The Massey 270 is 55 PTO horsepower and has a non-synchronized sliding gear 8-speed transmission. The 270 has an optional roll guard, but Massey doesn't offer a factory-installed cab on this model. The Ford 5610 has 62 PTO horsepower with an 8-speed constant mesh transmission. You can add a synchronized transmission with an optional high-low. MFWD is available, and Ford does offer a cab as an option. You see, in this horsepower range, as throughout the entire utility tractor line, there is a wide variety of competition. In fact, the same tractor, depending on how it's equipped, can be a competitor with any of these 3 John Deere tractors. For example, the Ford 5610 can be matched up against both the 1650 and the 2350. But no matter how they equip their tractor, there's a John Deere utility tractor which can outperform them. Let's start with the IH 584. Lugging power is determined by the power curve of the engine, the characteristics of the transmission, and how the power is transmitted to the ground. Because of John Deere design philosophy, our longer wheelbase and efficient transmissions throughout the utility line channel more working power to the drive wheels. This means that your customer can get more work done. He doesn't have to shift down to get through the tough spots. When you compare the 584 to the 2350, the differences are even more pronounced. To begin with, there is significantly more hydraulic capacity available with the 2350 for loader work. In addition, when the 2350 is equipped with caster action MFWD, a limited slip differential is included as standard. The 584, like many competitors, has neither caster action nor a limited slip differential. Because of the exclusive 12-degree caster action, turns with the 2350 are tighter. And on the 1450, 2350, and 1650, the MFWD uses a center-line drive. This ensures even distribution of power and an unobstructed view of the front wheels. This is not true of IH. The Massey 270 is right in the center of this horsepower class at 55 PTO horsepower and does not offer a standard synchronized transmission. The 270 comes with an 8-speed sliding gear transmission. If the customer wants high-low, it's an option, but direction reverser and creeper are not offered. To get MFWD in this size Massey tractor, it's necessary to move up to the more expensive Massey 274. If your customer's application calls for a standard transmission, then the 1450 or 1650 are ideal choices. In addition, both tractors can be equipped with MFWD for an economical and productive answer to specific needs. On the other hand, if your customer does a lot of on-the-go shifting, then point out the advantages of the top shaft synchronized transmission found on the 2350. Here you can also point out the advantages of the sound guard body. With a sound guard body, the TSS controls are mounted in a convenient console to the right of the operator. To get a cab on a Massey tractor in this power range, you must move up to the 670. And for those jobs that need hydraulic power, don't forget to mention the additional capacity and control of the John Deere closed center hydraulic system on the 2350. Whenever you try to match a prospect with a utility tractor, be sure to look at the entire need. For example, in this application, the Ford 5610 just barely clears the top of the truck. The operator must carefully raise the boom as he approaches the truck. The 2350, equipped with a John Deere 245 loader, has plenty of clearance. One of the big differences between the Ford 5610 and the John Deere tractors is in the area of transmissions. Ford has a standard constant mesh transmission, or an optional synchromesh transmission. With the synchromesh transmission, shift levers are located on the steering column. look at the shifting pattern for this transmission and compare this to the shift pattern of our collar shift transmission on the 1450 and 1650, and the pattern on the TSS transmission on the 2350. All John Deere utility tractors in this power range have more standard rated hydraulic output than the 5610. All John Deere utility tractors have hydraulic wet disc brakes that are self-adjusting and self-equalizing. Many competitors do not. For example, Ford uses mechanical wet disc brakes that are not self-adjusting or self-equalizing. And all John Deere utility tractors have John Deere quality built in, with important features like wet sleeve design cylinders for even heat dissipation. This prevents cylinder distortion and rapid ring wear. In other words, longer engine life. And longer drivetrain life is a result of inboard planetary final drives. Before we leave this power class, let's look at two more items: turning radius and serviceability. Turning radius advantages are obvious when you compare Massey, Ford, and John Deere. Likewise, the differences are apparent when you compare serviceability. Watch what's necessary to perform daily maintenance. Notice how with John Deere, even with a loader attached, all daily service is from one side of the tractor and from the ground. No climbing or reaching. The 1450, 2350, and 1650. Three tractors with the unique combination of features that allows you to match tractor productivity to customer needs. And three tractors that can meet competition head-on with positive features and benefits in very economical packages. The John Deere 2550 and the 2750. 65 and 75 PTO horsepower. Powerful tractors with standard features like top shaft synchronized transmission and options like caster action centerline mechanical front wheel drive and sound guard body. Versatility in platform design. Everything from a low profile version for orchard work to the comfort and convenience of the sound guard body. Versatility in the 2750 high clearance option with the creeper transmission for vegetable operations. Versatile and productive tractors that outperform the competition. And the competitors we'll look at in detail are the Massey 294 and the Massey 690. Let's begin by looking at the differences in these two Massey tractors. The 294 is available only with MFWD, and there is no cab option, while the 690 is available only with a cab and comes as either a two-wheel drive tractor or with MFWD. Brakes on the 690 are hydraulic wet disc brakes, similar to the 2550 and 2750. But on the 294, only mechanical dry disc brakes are available, which are not self-adjusting or self-equalizing. All John Deere utility tractors have inboard planetary final drives. This design spreads the power evenly over 3 points. The 690 has planetary final drives, but they are outboard, while the 294 uses a bevel gear. A bevel gear final drive concentrates all the force on a single point. This can reduce final drive life. Neither Massey tractor offers hydraulic high-low direction reverser, or creeper as transmission options. And look at the shift pattern on the Massey. When you compare mechanical front-wheel drive, there are some very important differences. First of all, the front axle on the 294 offers no tread adjustment to accommodate different row spacing. The MFWD cannot be engaged on the go, and there is no limited slip front differential. These are features we take for granted on a John Deere tractor like the 2550, but features and benefits that you should point out to your customers. And if your customer wants an enclosure, then the John Deere SoundGuard body outperforms the cab on the 690. The seat on the 690 has no armrests, and the steering wheel does not tilt or telescope. Front visibility is only 65 degrees as compared to 112 degrees with John Deere, and the measured noise level is higher in the Massey cab. In the 65 to 75 PTO horsepower range, the John Deere 2550 and 2750 offer the features and benefits to meet your customers' needs and beat the competition from a standpoint of convenience, durability, productivity, and reliability. The John Deere 2950 offers an 85 horsepower six-cylinder engine, top shaft synchronized transmission with high-low as standard, and options like caster action MFWD and SoundGuard body, resulting in a tractor with the power and torque reserve to handle big tractor jobs. To see how these features translate into positive benefits, we'll compare the 2950 with the Ford 7710. The 7710 at 86 PTO horsepower utilizes a four-cylinder engine. In fact, the engine is a good place to start the comparison. The Ford engine is smaller and has cast-in-block cylinder design, as opposed to the more efficient wet sleeve design of John Deere. Although the John Deere engine is larger, based on Nebraska tests, the 2950 has better fuel economy. The TSS transmission on the 2950 is synchronized, and since high-low is standard, you have 16 forward speeds and 8 reverse. Plus, you can equip a 2950 with the creeper option. On the 7710, the standard transmission is an 8-speed, non-synchronized, constant mesh transmission. To match the John Deere TSS transmission, a synchronized transmission and a hydraulic high-low must be added at extra cost. A creeper transmission is not available for the 7710. In the area of hydraulics, the 2950 has a pump output greater than Ford. In the field, this means that the Ford's hydraulics are on a priority system. For example, they can't raise the hydraulic row marker and the planter at the same time. One task must be completed before the other starts. From an operator's comfort standpoint, Ford mounts the shift levers on the floor, not in a convenient console. Also, the Ford steering wheel does not telescope. The visibility from the Ford cab is only 52 degrees, as compared to 112 degrees with the John Deere SoundGuard body. Both tractors can be equipped with MFWD, and both can be engaged on the go. But again, John Deere takes the feature of MFWD and turns it into an advantage. John Deere has a heavier front axle with a 12-degree kingpin angle, as compared to 5 degrees on the Ford. And the axle in the 2950 is built to use the full horsepower of the tractor. Since it's a heavier axle, it's more durable. The other difference in MFWD is caster action. The exclusive John Deere caster action design allows for a much tighter turning radius. Remember, turning radius is determined by two things: the ability of the front tires to turn in, and the wheelbase of the tractor. Now, if we compare a 2950 MFWD tractor, which has a wheelbase of 101.6 inches, with the two-wheel drive 7710, which has a wheelbase of only 85.5 inches, the 7710 should have a much tighter turning radius. But let's watch. First, the 7710. Now, the 2950. The turning radius is practically the same. The 2950 provides the stability of a longer wheelbase and the increased productivity of MFWD with no sacrifice in turning radius. The 2950 is truly a leader in this horsepower range. More pull at greater fuel efficiency, synchronized transmission with high-low as standard, the sound guard body, MFWD with caster action, and a longer wheelbase for stability. In the 85 horsepower range, the 2950 sets the standard because it offers the features and benefits that fit your customer's utility tractor needs. Customers' needs. That's what selling this line of utility tractors is all about. In a market with such a wide variety of applications, customers, and competitors, John Deere has the line of utility tractors that can meet competitors head-on price-wise and outperform them feature-wise. Utility tractors from 40 horsepower to 85 horsepower. Utility tractors with the power, the efficiency, and productivity that your customers demand. And utility tractors that offer one benefit no competitor can match: the John Deere name.
John Deere compact diesels. 8 tractors right for the 80s. From suburban homes to city parks, on landscaping jobs, or in farm feedlots, fields, orchards, and vineyards, there's a John Deere compact diesel tractor sized right to handle the load. All tractors feature a water-cooled diesel engine, 14.5 to 60 horsepower, an easy-to-shift transmission, and a 3-point hitch and 540 PTO to handle a variety of implements. Mechanical front-wheel drive is available for added traction when it's needed. If you want dependability, easy operation, and fuel efficiency, take a closer look at our compact tractor family. The John Deere 650 tractor at 14.5 PTO horsepower and the 750 at 18 PTO horsepower are small in size, but big on performance. Team your tractor with a rear-mounted grooming mower, and you'll cut big mowing jobs down to size. A deep deck and side discharge chute spread clippings in a smooth, even pattern. And the cutting height adjusts easily with just a touch of the hand. Cutting width is a big 72 inches. A mid-mounted grooming mower with a 60-inch cutting width is also available. The mower deck is deep and contoured for more uniform discharge of clippings. Cutting heights adjust easily through the tractor's rock shaft. For rough cutting weeds and undergrowth, John Deere also offers sickle bar mowers, flail mowers, and rotary cutters. A backhoe for light trenching work is available for the 650 and 750 tractors. John Deere compact diesels can make quick work of landscaping and utility jobs too. Start your work team with an 850 at 22 horsepower, a 950 tractor at 27 horsepower, or a 1050 with 33 turbocharged horsepower. Add a 75 front loader and enjoy a clear, unobstructed view of the work area. The top of the bucket is flat and parallel to the cutting edge for easier positioning. Lift height is 7 feet 8 inches. Lift capacity is 950 pounds. The mechanical front-wheel drive option is recommended for loader use. John Deere also offers other utility tools. Pick a box scraper with a cutting width of 4 to 7 feet, or add a rear blade with a 4, 5, or 6-foot cutting width. This 31 post hole digger makes fence building and tree planting easier. It can dig a hole up to 24 inches wide and 42 inches deep. Prepare a seed bed or take care of a growing garden with a John Deere rotary tiller. Choose a model with a 4-foot or 5-foot width. Both have a maximum tilling depth of 8 inches. A heavy-duty tiller is available for commercial tilling operations. During the winter, your tractor will earn its keep too. Choose a 2-stage snowblower, front or rear mounted. Or pick a front blade, 4.5 to 7 feet wide. John Deere compact diesel tractors are also at home on the farm, whether you have part-time, small acreage jobs to do, or need a nimble, fuel-efficient tractor to work where larger tractors can't go. Both 1- and 2-bottom plows are available for small acreage farming, as well as John Deere discs, 4 feet to 9 feet 2 inches wide. There's a capacity-matched field cultivator for seedbed preparation, and 1- or 2-row flexi planters. For full-time farming work in close quarters, or for your bigger utility jobs, take a close look at the newest John Deere compact tractors. The fuel-efficient 1250 at 40 PTO horsepower, the 1450 at 50 horsepower, and the turbocharged 1650 with 60 horsepower at the PTO. When we say these 3 larger tractors are fuel efficient, we have the test results to back up our claims. Testing, both on the track and under field conditions using the Dynacart, has proved that the 1250, 1450, and 1650 are among the most fuel-efficient tractors in their power range. Take the 40 horsepower 1250. Official tests show a horsepower hours per gallon figure of 16.69, among the best in the industry. John Deere tests of the 1450 and 1650 have shown that they also rate very high in their power range for fuel efficiency, making these 3 tractors as a group the most fuel efficient in the industry. And you can be sure that to reach these fuel efficiency levels, we didn't sacrifice working power. In fact, our tests have shown that the 1250, 1450, and 1650 tractors have a 20% pull reserve average. That's the kind of pulling power you need to handle your tough farming and utility jobs. There they are, 8 compact John Deere tractors. Tractors with the features and the versatility, the proven fuel economy and dependability that make them right for the 80s. And you can be sure there's one that's just right for you.